Hey there, Photo Universe. Okay, the K5-2S and the K5-2 has just been announced. So now's as good a time as any to do a review of the K5. I did a review of the K5 multi-part, you know, back when I first started Photo Universe. And, that was okay. That was then, this is now. I've been using the camera pretty seriously now for over a year. And so where are we at with the K5? You know what? I like the K5 so much that even though, if you've seen my vlog that I'm putting up, I'm kind of picking up, I'm going back to Canon a little bit, I'm still keeping the K5s. You know, the strength of this system, so in this Domke bag right here, the strength of the system, I got the Metz AF58-2, great flash unit for the K5. So let's start right with that, okay? We'll start with the negative. The flash system on the K5, and it's just, that's not the K5, it's a Pentax thing. Okay, Pentax is behind a generation or two or three as far as flash is concerned. I mean, this works and it's okay, but if you've used a Canon 580EX2 or a Nikon SB unit on any modern Nikon camera, any modern, that's not you. With the Canons, you get to the 7D, the 2Ti, the T2i, the T3i, T4i, that 7D, 60D, 5D Mark III, yeah, the flash is better. Okay, definitely, no question. On the 5D Mark II, the metering's not so good. Flash metering's not so good. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, there's some guys out there who shoot weddings all day long. Yeah, I know that. And it works, but it's hard. It's not as easy as you get a Nikon SB on a D300S, even that level camera. D200S. It's all day long. Just push the button 95% of the time, bang, you got the shot. Indoors, outdoors, bright light, wedding reception. Okay, Pentax doesn't do that. Pentax, if I'm out doing a portrait or something and I'm trying to do I mean, it's work. It really is. I'm constantly adjusting the aperture and stuff with the flash. So the flash system, it works. It's not one of the strengths of the system, okay? If you're doing heavy flash work, if I were doing 40, 50 weddings a year like I used to, no way. I could do it. It's too much work. Too much work. If I were doing weddings nowadays, I'd be shooting a Canon T3i and a 580EX all day long. I just wear those out. 7D's too heavy for wedding work, okay? Seriously. The T3i would be fine for wedding work. You know, if I'm getting paid, if I was down in Houston still and I was getting paid $5,000 to shoot a wedding, it would be 5D Mark III all day long. With the 580 and the new 600 with the radio controlled, brilliant. Okay, so flash system is not so good. This is one of the strengths of the system. This is the 77mm limited. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so I'm sticking with the Pentax. I'm sticking with the primes. Okay. So here's the 35-2.8 macro. Okay, solid metal lens, that's a pleasure. Okay, this is, by the way, I picked up one of those limited edition silver K5s. I put the grip on the bottom of that, and I got a K5. This is, I'm keeping all this stuff. This stuff I'm keeping, this is my Pentax system. That's the 15 with the L bracket on the black K5. Okay, so the strength of the system. So what am I keeping? I'm keeping the 15, the 21, the 35-2.8, and the 77. And I'm going to have the two bodies and the grip. And so there it is. So that's I'm going to run with that system. And hey, if they come out with a full frame in the future, awesome, brilliant. If they come out with a the flagship K3, I might go for that. You know, great system. This is I kind of look at it like the Canon system is my work system, and this is my system when I want to enjoy shooting. Okay, I enjoy shooting these cameras more than I enjoy shooting the Canon system. It's just, it's ergonomics. It's the way it's laid out. Okay, that's what it's a small. This body is about the same size as the Canon Rebel series, but the quality is night and day. Okay, night and day. This is 7D, maybe better quality in terms of the way it feels, the way it handles. It's solid. I mean, that's what I love about the K5. Weather resistant, you know, waterproof, brilliant. I just love the way the K-5 is laid out. It's got the lock. The original 7D doesn't have that lock. You can send it in for $100 and get it. The 5D Mark II doesn't have that lock for the mode dial. The new 5D Mark III does. Okay, Nikons don't have a mode dial. Nikons, you push a button, you turn a dial, you spin a wheel. That's how you change modes in a Nikon. 6 of one, half dozen other. I don't mind either way. I've used both. I like this implementation here. I mean, it's really a no-nonsense camera. It's laid out great. The other kind of negative to the K-5 is the autofocus. It works. It works in low light. It's very accurate. That's something I can't say about the Canons. The Canons are fast, but in my experience, they haven't been that accurate. Okay, they kind of get you in focus. If you're shooting at f8, great. But you know, if you're shooting wide open, not so much. I mean, you need to really be critical. And that experience really came from shooting a bunch of weddings with 20Ds like 5, 6, 8 years ago. So, so the new, the 5D Mark II was kind of the same, because that's 20D autofocus system, isn't it? Really? The new, the 7D was better, and I'm sure that this new Canon 5D Mark III is going to be great. Any of the 1 series cameras that doesn't apply to. I mean, that's a different program. Okay. So where's the Pentax? You know, it's as fast as or a little slower than a 20D. It's more accurate. People complain about low light. I haven't really had a problem. You got to know how to focus, though. You know, a lot of times, I mean, if you can focus manually, you know, autofocus is a tool. If you got a hard shot coming up, pre-focus. You know, that's what I love about the depth of field scales on these limited lenses. You know, just pre-focus. Take the shot. Focus shouldn't be this big. You know, don't. When people say, "No, the focus stinks," blah blah blah, autofocus. Hey, you know. Find alternate ways to get the shot in focus. What, you know, photographers for years didn't have autofocus and they got great shots. So there's got to be an alternative, right? Okay, think about it. I'm just saying. So autofocus, yeah, okay, it's okay. It's okay for what it is. What are the strengths of this thing? Water resistant, built like a brick. Solid, small, relatively lightweight for how solid it is. And I'll tell you right now, okay, ergonomically, coming from Leica M series cameras and the old school where everything was pretty straightforward and not very cluttered and it was intuitive, this camera is the best I've used. That's why I've got 2 of them. I'm hanging on to them with the limiteds. Because, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, I wish the flash system was better. I wish the autofocus was a little bit better. I wish it was world class. I wish Pentax was keeping up with Nikon and Canon. Okay, the autofocus flash system is not. But man, Nikon and Canon in particular. But Nikon cameras are more like Pentaxes. But if you've never used a Pentax, I'm telling you right now, that's the way a camera should be laid out. This is how a digital autofocus camera should be configured. It is a pleasure to use. It's intuitive, and it's ultimately configurable. You can have apertures in the front, apertures in the back, shutter speed in the front, shutter speed in the back, whatever you want. One of the things that really turned me on is, like, every time I've looked at this camera and I've said, you know, I'm shooting now, boy, I really like it. Like I was shooting aperture prior, I was doing some, when I went up to Eagle Cap Wilderness, I went backpacking. And I was adjusting my aperture with, I was shooting in aperture priority. Adjusting my aperture, and I said to myself, you know, wouldn't it be cool, because I want to bracket here, and I want to bracket fast, but I don't want to use auto bracketing. I just want to know where I want to go. I want 2 stops over, 2 stops under. Wouldn't it be cool if I could just, like, bang, turn a dial for exposure compensation, take a shot, turn dial for exposure compensation, take another shot. Because I had mirror lockup going too. And you know what? I looked in the menu and sure, no problem. You can have anything you want. Brilliant, brilliant. I mean, I can't say enough about it. So that's really the strength of the system. You know, people have complained about the video mode because it doesn't have a dedicated button that you push to start your video. I don't get that. This is an alternative thinking to that, And it makes a heck of a lot more sense the way Pentax does. And people will be like, Pentax doesn't do it right. They don't have a dedicated separate button for video. This is the way Pentax works. You put your camera into video mode, and your shutter button starts and stops your video. What's so hard about that? That makes more sense to me. As a non-video guy, it's like the shutter button starts the clip exposure and the shutter button stops the exposure, right? Well, the shutter button starts the video and the shutter button stops the video. So you're telling me that like on the Canons and these other cameras that have a dedicated, now I'm in video mode, I gotta go find a separate button somewhere to start and stop my video? Well, how does that make any, how is that better? I mean, okay, if you don't think it's better, how is it, why? Why is that different? I mean, why should it be different? I think the video mode in the Pentax is fine. Now, having said that, okay, the video in the Pentax, it works. Again, you know, it's like, I would say this is like D90, Nikon D90 video, which Nikon D90 was the first camera to come out that had video built into it. Okay? Right now I'm using a Canon T3i to shoot this video for the Pentax. And you know what, the screen flips out and I can see what I'm doing. The T4i might be better because it would actively focus, and I hope this video is in focus, because I'm just going to waste 20 minutes here talking to an out of focus image, and that would really not be good. I'll have to redo the video, right? So, on the other hand, you know, a lot of those, that's my shortcoming with video, because I should have checked my pre-focus before I started this, right? Because anybody who really knows what they're doing with video, it's all manual focus anyway. I had a Pentax Lumix G3, which had autofocus, and you know what? The thing kept racking back and forth, so I don't know. 6 of one, half dozen another. You know, I just need to remember to set the focus before I start my videos. Okay, back to the Pentax K-5. The video mode in the K-5, it works, it's good, it's high definition, it's nice. They finally got to the normal video sizes. The K7 had some weird sizes. But it's D90 level video, you know? It's a couple of generations back, all right? Canon with this T3i is accused of being a generation behind. Well, I got news for you. This is a generation behind the Canon. So if video is your thing, the K5 is not your camera. I'll tell you that right now. It does it, and it's cool, and yeah, if you know what you're doing, it's great. But you know, the things have moved on. Now, that's why with this new K5 II, people are just... All right, photo universe. So, as I was saying, the thing about the K5 II that people are upset with a little bit, some of the stuff that I've read, is that the video mode's exactly the same as it is in the K5. There's no improvement there. And, you know, this is 2-3 generations behind. So, as far as video is concerned, as an example, people are wondering, like the K30 and the K01 mirrorless camera has a more refined video. So they're only a generation behind. And people are saying, like, there's Photo Dog barking, would you be quiet? He wants to get in on the act too. So people are saying, like, what's with this K5 II? What kind of an upgrade is this? You know, we've got a better autofocus. Okay. Well, you know, if Pentax is still there 2 years from now at the K5 II, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, they can't be, unless they're really going under. We need to see a K3 with a 24 megapixel sensor, better video. You know, and having said that, here's the deal, okay? You could shoot this camera. We're talking about little minor details, okay? The only reason people are all excited about the new video and the better autofocus and the better flash systems, because people have done it in other cameras. Like Canon's done it with you know, their flash systems and their autofocus and their video, and Nikon's doing it with their autofocus and their video and their flash systems. And, you know, Nikon kind of did it first with the flashes. But as it stands, you know, what is this camera for? It's for making still photographs. That's what these are cameras. If you want to do video all day long, get a video camera, right? But if you want to make still photographs, you know, we're there. This is so much better tools than, these are so much better tools than what we had. You know, we got medium format quality from film days in a small lightweight package. None of us nowadays, if you have a modern camera, a modern digital camera, you're not limited by your equipment. You're limited by your skill and your desire to get out there and use it. Seriously, that's where I'm coming from. So we lust after these things that other camera companies are doing. Well, every camera company has its strengths and weaknesses. And that's what this video is about. That's why I'm on so much about Canon and Nikon in a Pentax review. And that's because, you know, what does this camera do that the Pentax and that the Canon and Nikon can learn from? You know, make the small primes with the depth of field scales on them. That would be awesome. I mean, I realize it's not your thing for Canon and Nikon, but you know, I'm glad Pentax is doing it. That's why I enjoy these limited lenses. I enjoy these cameras. I like what I got here. And I can deal with the shortcomings. With the Canon, you know, what's Canon's strengths? Well, fast autofocus, the ring type. USM autofocus is brilliant. The fast primes. I mean, yeah, now that's where Canon's rocking, right? The 24-1.4 L2, the 35-1.4, the 50-1.2, the 85-1.2. Yeah, brilliant. You know, that's Canon. Well, but they're huge, right? So, but if you need that, that's great. Full frame with those lenses, beautiful. On the other hand, if you want solid, weatherproof, small lenses and cameras that are really a photographer's pleasure to shoot with, that's the strength of the K-5, and that's the strength of the Pentax system. And you're going to have to overlook that you're a couple generations behind in flash and video and things like this, but no one else is doing these small primes on a small solid body. Okay, for some reason these other camera companies think small means entry level, cheap. You know, not. I mean, don't get me wrong. T3i is a brilliant camera, but it's not a K5. I mean, it's not gonna stand up to the weather. It's not gonna. So, you know, and that's why I'm mentioning these other cameras so much. Compare and contrast, kind of show you where this system fits in. So. I'd like to throw out Jim Radcliffe at boxlight.com, I believe it is. Well, search for Boxlight Jim Radcliffe, he'll come up. He's shooting with the Fuji X Pro 1, and he's shooting with the K5s. And he's another guy, came from the 5D2s, just wasn't inspired by the big blob cameras, even though I'm headed back in that direction. I'm going to run both systems for a while, and you know, but maybe, you know, the K5s will keep me inspired, and the 5Ds will get me out there doing bigger prints and full frame stuff and all that, whatever. But really, to tell you the truth, here's the bottom line. When I go out there and I got a portrait to shoot, like I did over the weekend, a week or two back, I did a couple of musicians. You know, that's not the Pentax, because it's daylight balanced full flash stuff. That's going to be a Canon thing. That's going to be the 24-105 f4, you know, or if I had to shoot a wedding, that would be a Canon thing, because it's heavy flash. You know, I don't want to fight this flash system. Can the K5s do it? Absolutely. Are the Canons better for that work? Yeah, they are. What is the K5 good for? The K5 is good for the travel camera, if you're going mountain climbing, that kind of a thing. You know, creative street shooting, brilliant. Yeah, that's the K5 strengths. Available light, because the ISOs are fantastic on the K5. You know, we're talking 3200, 6400 clean images. So, and the built-in shake reduction, excellent. Built into the body. So, all right, that's the K5 review, and thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. And that's Photo Universe.